Welcome back to Society Case Files. My name is Robert, and today I'm going to build Borgit's Beastgrabbaz. This is a brand new Warhammer Underworlds set that only recently came out. I got my copy, so we're going to throw them together. They're very easy. The instructions are crazy simple, and I'm going to show you those here in just a second. Let's get a look. If you like this kind of content and you want to see more, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell. Otherwise, we're going to dive right in. So here are the instructions, and as you can see, they're very, very simple. The first character is just a piece that goes into one, and then that piece goes into another, and then you pretty much put them on a base with a face. We're looking at basically 2 pages to do all of the 5 models. And what's more interesting about this is that a recent model I did for the Death Watch was more complicated than this, and he was one guy. So all around, I think anybody who takes these guys on is going to find them to be very, very simple. The same goes with the next character. It's just 3 pieces go together. You throw his arms on, he gets a base. Next guy is just 3 pieces, base. 3 pieces, base. All pushed together, all very simple. This guy is just 2 pieces and a base. I think that if you're looking for a great way to get into the hobby, then Underworlds is probably one of the best bets. They have very few models that you'd have to assemble and paint, and the rules are fairly straightforward. You don't need as much stuff to get into it as you do some of the other choices in the line. So let's take a quick look at the sprue before we get building, and then we'll take a look. So here we go. This is it. All 5 models on this one double-sided sprue. It's going to be really easy. So we will get started here in just a moment. I'm going to open a brand new glue because this one is spent. And I thought today we would take our time. If you want, kill the noise, or rather turn off the sound and hit fast forward if you just want to see the build. And we'll make this happen. It's been a little while since I've done any building because I've been very busy with some other things, but one of my big projects has been to gather a full warband for Underworld so we can start playing, and that has taken up quite a bit of my time because I've been trying to paint, and while I can build like nobody's business, the painting side is a little less my forte. So I'm still trying to get my feet under me in that regard. But, you know, it takes practice. And for some reason, I have it in my head that it takes more to paint than it does to build, even though it's pretty much no different when it comes to the amount of stuff you need. I guess it's just, getting the water and making sure that you get everything cleaned up and all that good stuff. Really just comes down to me being lazy, I guess. But whatever. In any event, I had to get these guys right away because first off, they were really cool, but they also came out at the same time as a new deck to play the game with, which I thought was pretty cool. You know, more variety is always good when it comes to these kinds of things. So we have that as well. And well, I haven't actually played the game quite yet. I do understand how it works, and it seems like a lot of fun. I think it'll be a nice, quick option for getting a little bit of a fix when it comes to this stuff. Without having to do a big old setup, like even just playing Curse City takes quite a while to just set up a board. If you were hankering to do 2 or 3 quests in that game, you would definitely be spending an inordinate amount of time building your board. But not so with this one. There's not even really any terrain to speak of. Just a cool flat board, and throw your characters on there and get going. Probably the hardest part of this game is the fact that you need to kind of understand what the cards do. But I mean, that's hardly a hardship. Once you start playing, it makes a lot of sense, and they're fairly well detailed, good explanations and stuff. Okay, sorry about the weird edit, but I did have the camera just run out of power on me. So that was awesome. Had to get a new battery, but I'm back and I'm ready to go. We are up to the final piece for this character, and I just got to figure out exactly how it goes. It looks like it'll fit right here. And it comprises his shield and his hat. Kind of funny how much goes into this one little piece, but here we go. It's going to go right into that slot there. The only reason I hesitate to do it quickly is because I'm not sure how I'm going to get the face in there. I guess it's just going to fit. So I guess we should just go for it. Here we go. And I've talked about doing push to fit models before, and I often do put some glue onto the peg just to make it go into the slot easier, because otherwise it can actually require quite a bit of force, and sometimes these guys are very fragile, so it's better to find a way to make it easy for the stuff to go in. So there you go. It actually was very simple, and it slid in a way that made the head part make sense. So we'll just put this little face, has a really long peg, and it's going to go right here. So no big deal. Let's make that happen. I'm not sure if I'm going to need to glue the peg this time, because it looks like it's going to be pretty easy. Let's see. It's very small, but the big nose should be obvious, and that's obviously what goes on top. And voila, there he is. He is done. Get him in there nice and tight. And we got a guy with a little moon shield. Cool. That's fine. 5 on the sprue, which is his base. Should be right here. Not a terribly complicated build for him, for sure. His foot is going to go... I guess he's going to go like this. Where's the rest of him go? Obviously he's going to have to go something like this. Oh, that's unusual. Maybe... Oh, okay. So there's a little guide next to the peg here. And if you look at the base itself, it has the cutout. So it will go in like this. And then I guess he'll rest somewhere else. I'm not seeing what else might make contact though, so that's interesting. But we're going to add some glue to the foot part itself, which should make contact with the base as well as the peg, which hopefully will keep him secure to the base so we don't end up losing him. And it did not want to go in super easy, and since I don't want to push down hard on the model itself, I'm going to put a little glue inside, which should ease its passage. And there we go. Yeah, he only has one point of contact, and that is definitely on that little stone. But there is the first little guy. Totally done. All right, so that's number 1. Let's start out on number 2. We got 6, 7, and 8. They are right here. And as always, with push together, we have to be careful because the pegs often connect up with the connection points on the sprue, and you can accidentally cut one off. I've done that plenty of times. It is not the end of the world. It's pretty easy to work around it, but it's just better if you don't have to. Save yourself the trouble of having to do any kind of jury rigging. So here we go. Let's see. This guy looks pretty odd. So that's 6, 7, and then we need 8. And 8 is this basket with a little grot dude on it. I think it's interesting how many goblin how much goblin stuff gets put out. In the Stormbringer boxes, you get a ton of goblins. Just loads. I always thought that was kind of funny. I have a feeling that the goblins would get torn up by the Stormcast Eternals, and considering that that's pretty much who they're constantly fighting, or at least who you get with those sets, I would imagine that it wouldn't be the fairest fight in the world. So this one's a little strange, and the instructions show that this basket, you put the grot dude going down, and then this is the head up here of this guy. So I'm going to put him going forward like so. Okay, it becomes more obvious when you really get down and look. You'll see that his little hand is here, and there's his arm that's going to connect up to that, and then his neck attaches to that. So it shouldn't be too crazy, but it does just kind of set in place as opposed to push in together. So we're going to do it like this, and then the next part would go on top of that. But because I am a fan of glue, I'm going to glue it on so that it has a nice firm connection and does not break. I kind of talked before about the fact that one of my very first attempts at doing anything was to build a Space Marine that I was given at the store my first try, and I just did push together. I did not use any glue on him, and his head was rattling around because I didn't do it quite right. But if I would have glued him, it would have been no big deal. All right, so there we go. There's a little bit too much glue on his arm. I'm going to try and take care of some of that before we push on. Oh yeah, that ran all over the place. Don't want to melt him. There we go. All right, now let's figure out this part. Pretty easy. The feet go down. There's two big slots for the push-in parts. They go right here, and they they feel pretty firm, but I'm still gonna do some fairly liberal gluing to make sure that they go in easy and that they fit. So let's get some in this first. Set that down. Okay. And I don't have to go too crazy with this part here. It does look like I could probably do a little more glue around here too to make sure that the models are very secure. Okay. So here we go. Let's see if my efforts paid off. I think that's it. Yeah. His arms are going to cover up the last holes, so they don't go in very far at all. Huh. All right. So we need 9 and 10 to wrap him up. Let's find those. 9 is the one with the big old knobby club here. There's a lot of meat on this dude. And then, what did I say? 10. That's odd. Where's 10? No, 10 was too big to include on that side, so it moved over to the small sprue, even though, or the other sprue, even though the first two models seem to mostly be taking up this. Let's look ahead. Yes, it is number 12, so this is his base here, and I'm just going to get it now. And we can focus on putting him together for the last few moments. So if you don't know, when you get a warband like this, you also get their cards. I'll take just a quick moment to show those while I pause. But this is what it comes in, along with your instructions are folded up in this as well. So you'll get the individual character cards and their inspired version on the back, basically. And then you get pretty much every language card, as you can see. So you get a lot of just kind of random stuff in these sets, as far as those extra cards go, at least. I guess it's cheaper than having to differentiate them since they sell to everybody. I don't know. I would think it'd be kind of a waste of materials myself. Okay, it looks like his beefy arm might go up high. Nope, it's going to come down and be low. How does this work? Is it behind him? Yeah, I think. Okay, so this part here is going to fill that gap. And then the top part is going to come up and sort of connect up to the grot on his head. So, okay, it makes sense. It's just kind of strange. Whenever they include a massive piece of a model like this, I just find it a little funny how it ends up working and connecting to craft it. I give them credit for being clever. Alright, there we go. Pretty easy. He's a huge, beefy looking troll guy, I guess. So let's get his other arm. Let's figure out how's that going to go. Like this. And then it's going to meet up at the top as well. And I got a little bit of cleanup to do here, it looks like. I think I can just clip this off. Ooh. Nope, I'm going to need the knife. Let's get the knife. Alright. Probably don't say this enough, but it's important to be very careful with any kind of palette knife stuff. Not only for yourself, but it's easy to cut into models and cause some trouble. Especially spindlier ones. If you're trying to do a sword or something, you might want to think about using a file instead. Something soft so you don't cause any damage you can't fix. Alright, there we go. So let's get this on. Looks like I got a few glue points I can use. Okay. And voila. There we go. All right. Now we get to turn the page. And when I say turn the page, I mean flip it over. So we finally need number 11, which was still on the original half of the sprue. And that's going to be his head, where he's got his wolf cap thing on, because I think his name is the Wolf Killer. In fact, let's find out. He is Uglug, the Wolf Killer. Charming. Okay, so let's see. I think it's pretty much just going to go like that. Yep, and then that connects up, and then we've got a full wolf-headed troll monster guy. Cool. Cool. Do that. Get nice and secure here. Let's see. I'm going to put some into this hole. And we're about done with the second one. That one snapped together so easy, it's kind of funny. Just take a moment to then go through and make sure you got all your seams as well as you can. And that guy's pretty much done. Now, we'll put him on the base, but I want to show you. I'll get it as close as I can. You can see that the indentations here show his feet, so we can actually line him up properly and get him facing the correct direction, like so. So no big deal. Very easy. I'm only going to put glue on his feet, and they should connect up to the base nice and solid, and be ready to go. Another question that I just wanted to throw out there and see what people think. How many people play without their armies being painted? I'm guessing tons and tons and tons. But if you are one, let me know. Let me know if it makes you feel as guilty as it makes me. I have no idea why it would, but maybe it does. Anyway, there's number 2. He's good to go. We will put him with his buddy over here. And let's see, what's number 3 like? Number 3, we are going to start with 13, 14, and 15. And then we just attach him to his base. So he may even be simpler than that last guy. We are now on to the second sprue fully, because there's nothing left on this one. In fact, I'm going to get rid of it. So let's see. Here's 14. I'm not super happy with that one. Let's try it from this side. That left a mess. That's not the best contact point, guys. Look at that. It's like right in the middle. And what's especially frustrating about it is that it looks like something's going to have to slide in there. So that's going to take a little tiny bit of cleanup. When I said little, I guess I mean a lot. Jeez. Now, I should also point out this palette knife is probably needs a new blade because it's over a year old now. But it's kind of doing the trick. Forgive me if you hear a noise coming. Amazon's here. Now, considering that I think the part that I'm messing with is going to be covered up, I'm going to stop now because I'm pretty sure that should be fine. So let's go to 15. And 13. Still have 13? There it is. And which base does it want? It's going to want 16 for the base. Here we go. Let's cut him all out completely because I'm pretty sure he's going to be simple enough to where we don't have to be too cautious. Although most of the time it's important to only cut out what you need, especially in more complex models. But considering that this is a level 1 difficulty, to say the least, I would say that we are more than safe to do whatever we want. Okay, so this model is basically, or rather is this dude here who is basically wearing a squig outfit. So with that in mind, we can kind of gauge where stuff goes. So this is like the top of the squig outfit. So it's going to go like this. And you can see it connects up on this side here, but there's not really a push together part for it. It does have a peg for that, 2 pegs for the other part over here. But this is going to be connecting via this tiny arm and then this part here. And that's pretty much it looks like. Let's double check. Yep. Yep. That's it. I could probably put some on his arm too. So here we go. Right up here. Put some right here too. And here we go. Oh, he popped off. All right. So it's probably good to take a little bit of care with it because it is just kind of sits there. With glue, it will take a minute and then it'll be nice and solid, but good to be cautious. So the next part goes just like this. And the 2 pegs are pretty obvious. Now, oops, I got it a little stuck. So I'm going to do some gluing first, and then we'll pretty much be done with this guy in just a second. But I'm going to glue around here, put some in the holes all around the top. That's pretty much the connection points that we've got. A little bit on the paw. And we should be good to go. Let's... There we go. Didn't want to easily go into those slots, probably because I didn't necessarily, or I didn't put any glue on the actual pegs, but that's okay. It worked out. If the seams bother you, you could put some glue on there. You could even use some green stuff if it is necessary. I think that it's kind of cool because it looks a little bit like bad seams that they've basically not sewn together properly. So anyway, the next step is to get it onto this base, and we once again have a decent guide. If you look right there, you'll see that there is an indentation that matches the foot. So these should go in. But the trouble is that this character is fairly flimsy, and so we're going to want to... Oh, there's also a foot back here to show you that this little foot goes there. But all that said, I'm going to liberally glue these feet to try and get them in easier, since I don't want to break the model when I push down. So first off, I'll do some stuff right in here. I'll put some on this foot. Now all the rest is going on the model himself. We'll really get this peg nice and ready to go. There we go. Okay, so let's hope that that was enough to make this go in easy. Oh my goodness, that was incredible. What a bit of luck. And there he is. He's kind of hilarious. He's one of my favorite ones in this little set because he's just ridiculous. All right, we got 2 left. We are now on to number 4. Number 4 is 18, 17, and 19, and then a base. So I found 19 first. We're going to go there. So that's 19. Then we're going to go with 18. That last clip was pretty close to his hat, but it wasn't a big deal. So even though I'm sure it looked a little bit ridiculous, it's not so bad. This is one where the pegs are connected up, so we'll take care to not mess with those. Those are going to go into his base in this case. Did not mean to do that rhyme. All right, so there's the 3 that we need, and we need number 20. So we'll grab 20 now and make it simple on ourselves. And we are good to build him. So let's see. 17. So the basket goes in the back. This goes in the front. And 17 is going to be... Oh, it's easy. So the back of this one should match the basket, just like that. Now I do see that I have a little bit of cleanup to do. It looks like this piece is a little jaggedy. Let's see if I can clean it up a little bit without ruining it. Yeah, that should do. Okay, so if we're going to match this up to the basket... Oh, easy. Look at that. Cool. All right, I'm going to glue it on, though, so that it stays. And then we'll put the other side on and we'll be good to go. If you didn't glue these guys, you'd be done in like 10 minutes. There's a hand sticking up. Let me make sure that I'm going to get this on the right direction. Yep, it looks like that's it. There we go. That's the back. This thing goes in. Oh, wow. There's his head. So it does help that you can kind of see, you know, like there's his head. There's where his arm's going to go. So for the most part, pretty straightforward. I would have liked it to have one more piece just to make that a little bit more obvious, but you know, whatever. It doesn't matter. His little arm is sticking out on the side over here. So that's going to be for, I guess, right here. Whatever, you'll see it in a moment. Let me just get it on. Wow, that was really easy. He's in. And that's him with his little grot tied up to the hook, and I don't know what's going on back here. That's nuts. All right, let's see. The base has some pretty straightforward stuff. The foot outline and this also line up very easily. So he's going to go pretty much just like that. We just got to get him glued so that he'll go on easily. Because again, he's a little delicate feeling. And I'm pretty sure he would break if you shoved too hard. If you were not using glue, it might be a little tough to get these on in a way that keeps them safe. Okay. Here we go. Done. All right, that's one more. Last one. And the last one is 2 parts. So we're going to grab 21. That was not the best sound. And then this one right here, that contact point for the arrow, very fragile. Let me tell you how many times I have cut one of these kinds of things out and had the small spindly bit break. One of the other warbands, in fact, for the Sylvaneth, snapped their little spindly top off of their staff, and I had to repair it, and that was not the best because it was super tiny, and it didn't want to be fixed, but it looks okay. It was hard to keep it standing up so that it, looked like it had never been broken. There's an empty sprue. Recycle. Okay. So let's take a look here. We've got the 2 arrows going up. I guess that... Oh my goodness, he's almost done. It's just he's got an arm that's going to attach back there, and then his little arrow is going to probably go right there. But all around, a simple little dude. Yep. Okay. Let's get him glued. We'll call this set done. So, what do you think of the goblins in Age of Sigmar? I think they're kind of fun. I think that they are definitely comic relief in many ways. But in numbers, I'm sure they're horrible to fight. But I'm curious. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you play the goblins in the big Sigmar game, or if you just think they're a little too ridiculous. All right. I think that as these one-off warbands, they're pretty cool. Having these different kinds of characters that are small and quick and nasty to fight. It's kind of fun. Okay. So there we go. That's it. All of them. Let's bring them over here. We'll have a quick look before I do the reveal. And call this crew done. So, we are looking at Borgit's Beastgrabbaz in all their glory. All right, let's get this reveal done, and we'll call this video over. And there we go. There they are in all their glory. Very easy build. I would highly recommend them if you like the goblins, or you just want an easy set to put together for a Warhammer Underworlds group. I'm currently working on painting up my vampires for the Courts of Blood so that I can do some Underworlds videos. I'm almost there, but one of the things I love about these is that there are so few models to get your team ready. In the vampires, it's only 4. Here we've got 5, and one of them super small. So all around, pretty reasonable to get into. But anyway, thanks very much for watching. This is Robert with Society Case Files, signing off.